Hello guys, Nation here. Today I wanted to showcase our Stormblade bow lightning build. We reached level 45 on hardcore yesterday. It won't be a full-blown out build guide as we still have no builder tool for this game and it's hard to guess without calculators which points min-max the best right now, right? But the build felt really good. It was tanky enough for all the content in the game for hardcore. The damage felt alright for both bosses and clearing out the map. And going for the rule of cool, it looked dope as well. That's why I wanted to share it with you. Let's see some gameplay first. Enjoy. First, let's look at our attribute points. So, the main stats are Vigor and Agility. So we stack up Cunning the most we can for our poison and lightning damage. You end up with light or medium armor, because that's the way how the game works. And I allocated the points roughly about 60% into Vigor and 40% into Agility. I think you can do like roughly 50-50 and you will be fine as well. Let's look at our points in the core skill set, or the core mastery. So important to note at the beginning when you start to level, you want to have some points in primary attack, because you can't sustain the energy at the beginning for all the cool stuff, and you need to allocate some points here. I started with Lightning Strike and Tailwind, and after that, at some point, like say around level 20 or so, I switched up to my main attack, but later on that, when we look at the Storm Tree. So in the end game, I have 3 points into Barrier. I think the ailment cleans is one of the best allocations in the game. You don't have to worry what cleanses are on your potion. You just hit your barrier and everything is cleansed. I got 1 point into Enduring Barrier, that's just for some more barrier generation, and 1 point into Reflecting Guard, because every source of damage in this game is good. Every source that doesn't cost energy, you will see it's worth it. Okay, we got 5 points into Dodge. To get 4 shards, you will spam this button a lot. With your light and medium armor, you get cooldown reduction on movement skills. So we'll spam it, and I think the speed bonus is the best. You get all speed, so it's attack speed and movement speed, and as well cast speed. But cast speed is not so important on this build. And 1 point into dash attack, so we have like an increased damage buff every time we press the button. Now let's look at our masteries. Took Storm and Rogue, that's why we got the Stormblade. You will, or you want to start out with Rogue. Actually, I started with Storm, this was a mistake, but you want to start with Rogue to get the trick shot the first levels. Be sure to get the conversion to ranged weapon, and in the first levels just get the damage and you will be fine. But that's how I ended up with in the Storm tree. Our main skill after some time, so you pushed the Divinity first for the second tier of skills in Storm. You will max out Lightning Bolt. I got the Rage Gain, obviously the ranged conversion, so we can use a bow, additional projectiles and lightning strikes every time we hit an enemy. So that's again the damage source without or very little energy cost is very important in this game. We maxed out the aura. At the beginning you will juggle a lot between cold and lightning resistance to fix your resistances. After you have enough resistances, you want to have the damage. So the weapon damage on lightning imbuement and the thunderstorm procs with the lightning strike. I got some points into conservation, so you have to look how your energy is looking. You want to spam the attack without having stop times, right? Without energy. So keep an eye on that. And after we get tier 4 in Storms, our last active ability in this tree is the Tempest. That's our blessing. We get the burst of speed every time we activate it. So we get attack and cast speed over 3 seconds. Additional movement speed over 3 seconds. And the crit maxed out. So yeah, we get the red crits after some time. I got as well 2 points into duration. I don't know if it's the best play, but I was tired of spamming this button so often, so I just wanted to have the duration as long up as possible. When we come to our passives, you start out with Arcane Influx. You want the energy regeneration and increased energy. Our allocations here after we get 8 points is the max energy and a little bit of survivability when you have energy up, and the energy regeneration on top of the passive energy regeneration. As well at the beginning you want to get a little bit of projectile glancing projectile hit chance. So I had this skilled out at the beginning, but I switched out when I got the better passive points on Rogue. So yeah. This one is good as well. You get 40 cold resistance, 40 lightning resistance in Storm adaptation. I have gone with even more cold and lightning resistance and the maximum resistance on top of that. When you max this out, you can free up points in Storm Nimbus and get the damage. The third one I maxed out in Storm is Lightning Evoker. Again, more lightning strike sources for no energy. It felt good. Every damage source, like I said, is just incredible in this game. And we allocated the points into damage and Rage Overflow. And lastly, when you are like level 40, you will get 6 points that are kinda floating around. I got my 6 points into increased chance to cause lightning strikes and increased damage with lightning strikes. But it's up to you. And the point we got here is reservation. So we, for every energy or 10% of the energy we reserve, we get extra damage on our lightning strikes. Now we look at our rogue tree. Like I said, you want to start off a trick shot at the beginning, but you switch out pretty quickly. After you get the second tier unlocked on Storm, you want to unlock the second tier on Rogue. You want the second aura as well skilled out. I got crits here as well. A little bit of poison resistance, but you have to juggle it again. If you don't have poison resistance, keep more points into this. If your gear gets better, you can get the points out. Trailblazer is really good, just increased movement speed when the aura is up, so all the time. And impairment resistance for slows and everything else. A little bit of conservation. Again, look how your energy is behaving, and yeah, you might get more or less points than this, so kinda depends on your gear. The last skill you will skill is the supportive Mark of Death, 4 death skill. I have gone with the weaken because Mark for Death is the skill you will use on bosses, right? So you want to weaken them, and I got the poison burst that I consume the stack every 24,000 damage I do. So you have to reapply Mark for Death every time you see the big burst coming. For the attributes, you start with either Deft Hands or Accuracy. It's up to you. I think I started with Deft Hands because I like the attack speed. If you can't sustain the energy, start with Accuracy. We got the critical hit chance and the attack and cast speed on Deft Hands, and critical hit chance and critical hit damage on Accuracy. One real good defensive attribute is the Nimble Defense. It gives you a ton of glancing hit chance, and after you scaled it out, you want to get the glancing projectile and glancing blow. When you allocate both, you get plus 10% glancing hit chance on top of what you got from the attributes. Sleight of Hand is just a damage buff. I skilled it out in the end game. Got attack speed here and more critical hit chance. It's just a real nice damage boost. But before you skill this out, I would rather skill evasive maneuvers for even more glancing hit chance. Heal on glancing hit, so every time we proc the glancing hit, we get healed. And movement skill. So after using a movement skill, we get flat 8% glancing hit damage reduction. Yeah. So let's look at our gear here. The most important stuff on your armor is life. We are still in hardcore, right? So I tried to get life on most of my gear. Not possible every time, but when you can, get life. Keep your resistance capped, so every gear I have has either resistances or health. And the third defensive stat is of course the glancing hits. You want to stack it as near to 100 as possible. Yeah, agility is good, vigor is good, and lightning damage obviously. One more thing that is important on our bow, you can see it here in our implicit, is the base weapon critical hit chance. It does a lot. It's way better than the other bows that have weapon aim enchant. So we are not playing with aim enchants. You should look out for the bows that have the weapon critical hit chance. And that's kinda it for gear. One more interesting thing, there is the epic that is called Stormstrike. You can make a overload mechanic into this build. So I started out in the mid game with this bow. What you have to do then is to get the overload mechanic up in lightning bolt. You need 1 point in overload. Don't do more, because every overload point you get makes damage on you. So you want just one. And then don't have the mark for death as the supportive skill, but the cyclone. That's the way you cleanse your overload stacks. So you damage with the lightning bolt, get like 3 or 4 overload stacks and cleans it with the cyclone. And you skill it that get the buffs here. Like for example, maybe get the lightning strike or get escalation for increased lightning damage when you stand in the cyclone. Yeah. But I didn't found a high level bow. Also call again Stormstrike. That's why I kept my rare bow here. On the potions, you want health or health regeneration. I think health is better, but it's up to you. And on the energy potion, obviously you want energy regeneration. Everything else is not good. This is the only stat on the mana potion you want to have. So lastly, let's see like a summarize of our stats. We have 2900 life with 365 barrier when we don't get hit. Right, it stays. A little bit of health regen, it's not a lot, but no. We got 96 energy and enough energy regeneration, so when we spam the skill, it's not going out of mana. Let's see a little bit of our stats here. We are obviously level 45, health, energy, that's our attributes. 1800 armor. I can't break it down how much it really mitigates of damage because the tool is not ready for this. We are capped out on our resistances, and we have 76 and 76 glancing hit chance when we use our...
Not yet.
It's not updating. Yeah, we have 58 damage percent damage reduction when we spam our movement skill. So yeah, it's pretty tanky. I think you can get it to 100 easily when you farm gear. I didn't have it in me after level 45. Maybe you will do it. Yeah. And some last words. If you like the build, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Check out my Twitch, so you can see playing live. I will do a second build, I think. Maybe a second guide and an overall video on the game state and if it's worth to buy it right now. I think the game is good, but more to that in the video I will make. So stay tuned, there is more stuff coming. Thank you for watching, guys. See you next time.